All right, so I'm bringing to you guys another video. I am sharing a short story that I wrote in college, my first semester of college. The assignment was to describe your hometown. What we had to do was to be able to have the reader visualize and feel everything that we wrote, about our hometown. Like, we had to really, like, you had to feel that shit. Like, when you read it, you had to feel. Like, my teacher didn't play no games. Like, she was for real about her shit. But I loved her about that. That brought the best out of me. I had to make the reader feel and be able to visualize as they're reading. And I wrote about my hometown. I was born and raised in the Bronx, 225th White Plains Road. I lived there for 17 years. My mom decided to get the fuck up out of there. Age 17, I was devastated. But then, I realized it was for the best. And I'm happy she did that. I'm so blessed she did that. I wrote this assignment literally the day before it was due because I had no idea what I was going to say. I felt like I was so stuck. Like, I was really so stuck. I didn't feel like I was able to describe it because it's just so much that goes on down in the city. Like, it's so crazy. The title of my short story is called It's Not That Part of the City You're Thinking. It's 3 short paragraphs. Some people are going to love it, some people are going to feel it, and then there's some that are gonna be like and then there's some that's gonna be like, bitch, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, but just, listen up, stay tuned. I hope you guys like it. I need feedback. I want you guys to let me know how you guys feel about it. Like, I need honest feedback. I don't want lies. I don't want whack ass feedback. I need you guys to let me know what's good. Like, you feel me? Like, let me know what's really good. Like, do you guys like it or not? Like, but yeah, stay tuned. For an outsider looking in, where I'm from, it seemed like I'm where the life of the party's at. That's somewhat true. But the little things that go on from sunup to sundown in my hometown will have you questioning things that we have yet to understand ourselves as a community. I was born and raised in the Bronx on 225th and White Plains Road, but left when I was 17 years old. For people that have yet traveled and gotten to experience the unexplainable diversity in the air, they impulsively assume the Sex and the City, flashy 42nd Manhattan lifestyle. I always get comments like, New York has the best fashion, or I heard you guys have everything out there, why'd you want to leave? Being when my mother made the most dreadful, uncomfortable change of taking me away from the only part of the world that I knew, the only part of the world where my friends and family were, to a better lifestyle, did I become conscious. That expression you hear everyone say about New York, the city that never sleeps, is disgustingly true. All 5 boroughs never slept. Every second of every minute, there was something going on. As a teen, I hated missing anything that went on in my hometown. Literally everything was fun and games. We used to cheer on senseless fights, all for in-the-moment entertainment. Have insane block parties which felt like carnivals with guns and loud music that always ended up taking a person's life. Humiliating boys and girls that were soul-searching and quickly deteriorating in the fast life because their father figures were locked away in the nearby penitentiary. We would walk by a sleeping hurdle of homeless people in broad daylight like they were a part of the city street's furniture. Seeing youth imitate little things the hood famous people would do because they were so desperate to fit in. We'd ignore the songs of police sirens every 30 minutes harmonizing with the trains because corruption was a part of our daily routine. We would stand by watching a freshman get assaulted in the corners of school buildings for his brand new pair of Jordans that his mother just finished escorting for because she wanted to see her baby happy. We demand peace, but continue to engage in this chain of destruction by wrecking our city. That was our circle of life, and this is what I loved. Even though the opportunities were endless and there is no party like a New York party, along with the fashion sense that was one of a kind, plus our exterior that is one of the toughest, it took until I was laying my head to the sound of crickets and everything shut down at 9 p.m. and getting used to the sounds of sirens rarely being used for test runs and not hourly pickups that I realized there was so much more than the Bronx. What was praised in the Bronx wasn't such a big deal in the town where my mother discovered. I would have never thought somewhere far, yet so close, could be so different. Food shopping in your PJs was normal. The presence of a gun brought extreme fear to the town. And that guard you had to have while walking on an unknown street in the Bronx could be let down because the welcoming of others were warm, not obnoxious. Being away from the chaos and being that outsider looking in, and also being from the Bronx, give me a sense of understanding on everyone's views of my city. Being out of the mix and viewing it from a wider angle, you only see the fun in the way media fantasizes it. But being straight about the gutter and knowing the little details of real everyday life will leave you with a different feeling about it. The Bronx molded a part of me because honestly, it's a free for all world out there. Children grow up way too fast in the city streets because people of all ages mingle together. I hated that girls wanted to be and look older than they were. My hatred for it was so powerful because after forcefully being removed is when I noticed I was one of them. I was the one that wanted to fit in so badly. I was blinded. I didn't have my own identity, and 90% of the Bronx was like that. Where I'm from, you're praised for dismantling your body to look like the well-known porn star, as well as it's best to stay quiet when it came to violence, because if not, snitches got stitches, ending up like the previous homicide a couple years back. This was the real deal of the Bronx. Not the luxurious lifestyle you saw associated with the Macy's parade on Times Square. Now, I'm satisfied with doing scarce pop-up visits to my hometown. Keeping up with the fast pace after being away for quite some time is disturbing, especially after finally experiencing a town something like heaven on earth. Till this day, I question why people stay and not open up their horizons. But then again, if it wasn't for my mother and wanting better for us, I would have been drowned in where people think is so amazing.